social media tools are kind of on a little bit on the more advanced side. They tend to provide a lot more data, including things like impressions and other things like that. Several of these do require you to sign up for either a free trial 7-day account or for 30 days or something like that. Multiple of these ones allow you to export the data as an XLS file. That way you can end up hanging on to it and using it to compare it multiple times if that's what you were trying to end up doing. This one goes a little bit beyond just some of that preliminary data when you're trying to kind of establish who the brand is. It's telling you a little bit more about some of the other interests of some of these people on these social media accounts, some topics or some forums that would be good. So it's kind of drilling down a little bit more on some of this to where you might end up creating some of the campaigns from rather than just building the brand building stuff. The first one here is Keyhole. It's got a 7-day trial period. I really suggest you sign up for it. You might like it so much that you want to hang on to it afterwards. I went ahead and typed in Domino's on this. It's searching both Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's giving us a specific range, but especially if you sign up for the free account, you can modify this to just do a 1-day snapshot, to do a 1-month snapshot, or whatever it is that you're trying to look at. It also goes ahead and it gives you information here like reach is the unique followers that a user has, which will become more important a little bit later on. Impressions, the number of posts during this 2-week time period, the number of users that interacted, the timeline showing when the number of posts and at what time of the day and on what days were the most popular, so that you can go back and again try to figure out, well, who was saying what at this time. The top posts, and then this number over here, you can click on here to find out exactly what that's telling you, but click on a tweet's date to be taken to the original post. You can end up searching for clout, the top post by a person's clout, which is one measure of an influencer ranking. And again, if you'll notice along here, you have the ability to download any one of these sections on this, which is kind of nice. Where the traffic is coming from that's talking about Domino's, it's talking about Twitter, then Instagram, then YouTube, Foursquare. Facebook is pretty far down the list. The specific links, if you wanted to go back and click through on some of these things, here's a voucher or like a coupon space. Again, discount Domino's pizza coupons, several different videos and things. You can go down and check that out, or again, you can export that. Which percentage of these were original posts, which of them were replies to what other people did, or just a straight retweet, again, downloadable information. Which of the people who were talking were the most influential. So if I drag across some of these people, it's going to tell me that how many different followers they have, what account it was following on, things like that. The most recent viewers of the whole thing, where people were talking about this the most. Well, in the world, it was the United States. Let's go back and pop the USA button, and it'll redraw which states had the highest concentration. So for whatever reason, people in Wyoming don't seem to talk about Domino's a whole lot, but the conversation was dominated in New York, maybe California, maybe Texas, Virginia, Florida the next. What percentage of the people were male and female? This is going to be important for you in terms of building your brand, and especially in determining some of your personas. Top sources, whether people were posting, again, man, from an iPhone point of view, if this is where people are coming from the most, that means that they're digital, sitting at computers or laptops, or maybe just in an office, Android phones. So this gives you the ability to scroll through and see multiple different type of platforms, what percent were coming from Facebook, etc. A hashtag cloud or a key tag cloud. Some of those common words that were associated with these things. And you can customize this report to include the information that you want or don't want. Again, Keyhole, pretty impressive type of stuff. You can end up coming in here and deleting. If you don't want to search for all of these, you could eliminate and just look at the Facebook account to see if that information changed. Just look at the Twitter account, especially to see if the female, male, or where the information was coming from, or some of the keywords. TweetReach, it's a pretty robust program as itself. Same type of thing. You probably want to register. That gives you the ability to save a lot of this information, export it to Excel, create a PDF or print file from it. So on this particular one, I'm not even sure it's telling me without signing into my account, which I think is already expired. what the estimated reach was, but it's telling you that, what the exposure is. Media planners can read that, the activity. And again, because this is just a sample, it's only telling us 50 of the last 1,500 tweets. Tells you what percentage of people have less than basically less than 100 followers, people who have 1,000 to 101 followers, people who have 10,000 followers or slightly less. Obviously, we're not getting the really big people. Most of the tweets are coming from either the very small people accounts or people that have up to 1,000 people on here. What time of the day things were coming in. Over in here again, what percentage was just a straight tweet, which was a retweet, the top contributors on these and what their impression level was, the particular tweets that were tweeted the most. This just is a tweet timeline sorter that allows you to go back through and see what people were saying, the top contributors, who was it who was doing most of the retweets, and then you can click through on these links to go open it up straight in their Twitter account. So several useful things on this one as well. This particular program, TweetArchivist. This one, you're going to get a very limited amount that you can end up doing on basically free searches. It's doing this particular search just from today. It's telling you how many impressions were delivered, how many tweets were talked about this thing. You can expand your account to get kind of more in detailed stuff, and that also allows you to export this as PDFs or Excel files if you don't want to take a snapshot, or you're going to have to manually write this information down otherwise. The top users, the top words associated with these things, the URLs contained within the tweets, where the tweet came from, language, volume over time, hashtags. I'll drill out on this one to be able to see which are the hashtags. Just plain old Domino's, pizza, food, barbecue, get in my belly. Outstanding. There's probably a lot of stuff that you could do with that particular phrase. Again, maybe the source of the tweet. Important to be able to see what percentage of people are coming from iPhone, which percent was coming from an Android, from the web, from an iPad. I'm not sure what tweet button is, but it's going to give the breakdown. Again, you've got to be able to find some amount of information. Wow, this has to be a very digital and a very smartphone-oriented campaign to reach this type of person. If it's a campaign that's geared more for reaching that type of person, they're less likely to be using a cell phone, so you can do something else along the way with that. The last one is Twitalyzer. I'm going to go ahead and just type in at Domino's account for that. And this is kind of a slow gathering thing. I'm not sure that the response curve in terms of talking about influences and time of the day and total traffic you're going to find to be all that useful on this one. The one thing that's pretty handy is the way it breaks out hashtags. It probably looks deeper at that, and it's an easier way to represent some of those things than some of these other tools are using. So we'll wait a second just to get through this. Again, highly encourage you to take a deep look at TweetReach and at keyhole.co. Both really good programs. And here we go, Twitalyzer. It's taking a look at the number of followers on the account, and it's trying to map a line showing you the impact and influence of certain of these tweets. Unless you're really getting into influence, I'm not sure that Cloud's the best way to do that, but here's the best thing, is not only does it show you the top influencers or the people who have the largest accounts do the tweeting so that you can see what these people might have in common and how you may be able to target them, but hashtags that Domino's Pizza uses. Oh yes, we did. We appreciate the love. Yum, you rock, Domino's. And topics that Domino's Pizza tweets about. So this is trying to break down diet nutrition. Wow. Customer service, Twitter, Domino's Pizza spelled one way. I guess Domino's Pizza spelled the exact same way. Diseases, I'm not sure I really want to know what that is, but being able to come back in here and have a quick, easy place to see what are the main hashtags that Domino's is using and be able to see some of the very basic keyword topics that they're including, that could be quite helpful too.